going on, everybody? What's going on?
Hey, Internet.
We're back.
We are back.
Webs, we're back.
Correct.
Against popular demand.
Against popular demand.
Definitely. Giving you guys some more free content.
Free.
100% free.
Just
Free,
like
100%.
breathing an email is free
Right. But,
You see us
for now.
You know?
Yeah, for sure. So we are not charging anything. But welcome to another episode of Carbonite Bounty BS with me and the nerds, and we are going to dive into our Star Wars Vision Episode 2 review. For those who haven't watched, obviously it's been out for a couple weeks, so this isn't. I don't think we need to throw a disclaimer of a spoiler free. I mean, this is a review, so if you haven't watched it, you can obviously click off of this. Make sure you smash a like, and then come back and watch your review after, and give your comments or commentary, and let us know what you thought about it. But before we even dive into this episode of Song of the Four Wings, let's let our guy DP let you guys know where to find us at.
All right, nerdcyclopedia.com, people. Make sure that you're going on there, and you'll see all your favorite links to your favorite social media posts, platforms, X, formerly known as Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and also on TikTok. We're basically everywhere. So any platform that we're on, you know that we're on. If you're watching us on YouTube, make sure that you're smashing that subscribe button, also hitting that notification. But so anytime that we're on, you know that we're on. If you're watching us on Facebook, thank you as well. Join our Star Wars group, and basically share all our content with your friends and family and all that stuff. If you're listening to us on podcasts, we're on iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, anywhere that you listen to your favorite podcast, we're there. You can take us in the car for free on your phone for free and everything. Leave us some feedback too. Nerdcyclopedia.com, nerdcyclopediafeedback@gmail.com. It's still free for you to send an email to us. You do the work. It just doesn't cost you anything.
In fact, we'll pay you. You send this email, we'll send you. We'll send you.
We won't.
Not signing up for that, Ken. Can't make me kick in on that.
Make sure we pay them. We pay them a 1099 as well. So
yes, make sure if you are paying people that you follow all of the correct rules, regulations. And you make sure that you make the proper withholdings and the remittances on schedule, or else you'll be subject to fines.
Correct.
I hope I didn't scare anybody, but look, if you need help with that sort of stuff, let me know. You can email
government
encyclopedia feedback at gmail.com about that stuff if you really want to let me know. All right, sorry.
The government and the mouse is watching.
For sure.
I mean, one versus the other.
The government versus the mouse.
Which would you rather?
Oh, the mouse first. Mouse first, government second. Then family.
I don't know. I think that fine would be pretty hefty from either. So
I think family has to be first. Then the mouse.
Yeah.
You can't keep me out of your house with a court order. You can't keep me out.
We'll see you real soon in your house. I'll own your house in no time. You idiot.
I'm going to put one of those geodesic domes on your house.
Mouse is crazy.
He is. But no, guys, this was a short. So in turn for this short episode, it'll be more of a short review. But yes, if you haven't known, this is Song of the Four Wings, which is kind of ironic. Which an X-wing has four wings. So I guess the idea of the episode, where it opened, kind of where it progressed and how it ended, was like, we talked about it, a great homage to like this design. I mean, this is more of the I would say modern anime aesthetic, more of this like kind of newer. It's obviously anime, but to me, this kind of felt like K-pop-ish, more like Korean-ish. It wasn't more Japanese style, so this is kind of more the Korean style in toward the way I look at it. But there's obviously a hero, and there's obviously a cool creature. So I thought it was pretty cool. Obviously, you guys know how I am. If it's not Jedi centric, um, necessarily isn't my cup of tea, but I watched it and I thought it was pretty cool. It was this pretty decent story, and I mean, it was like kind of Gundamish. We had a little bit. We had a little kind of a hunt. We had some Imperial. We had an Imperial ship, and then we had I don't even know what you want to call it. A speeder to turn into a mech suit. We had a little bit of everything.
Those things where you're just like, what?
Yeah, this is one of those episodes where, like, we had speeders, we had like a magic mech suit that turned into like a mech. I mean, a little bit of everything. It was kind of crazy. So it was for 16 minutes. I thought they packed a lot in.
How mad do you guys think like Padme would be if someone showed her that like with like 3 like vocal commands, R2 could turn into like a mech suit that would just make her like a murderous badass and protect, you know what I mean? Like I'd be pretty pissed off if I was in all those near death situations and the droid, maybe that's what he's trying to tootle at people. He's like, no, no, no. If you say like, Blathering Blatherskite or whatever, like from Darkwing Duck, you turn into a mech and it'll be great. But he's just whistling, and C-3PO doesn't care. He's like, I'm not telling them that. So I think all R2s now canonically can do this, and would do this if asked. But
for protection.
Yeah,
I thought it was an excellent mashup. It was interesting. Like you said, Gundam, Voltron, Power Ranger, Transformers. There was a that did that too. These things that turn into like a person or a power suit or whatever are pretty common in that sort of anime. And it was kind of neat to see that technology sort of show up in Star Wars, and it made it like the pastiche really obvious. And like like you said, T Mitch, that it's mixing in like the Korean Astro Boy style kind of.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, the Astro Boy look for sure.
You made me think about this at the end, where it's like, oh, the little kid's a Jedi, and it's like the little kid's always a Jedi. Like it's always a Jedi. And he's like, you can't have one thing where it's just not, where it's not overt. Yeah. It feels honestly like church propaganda now. You know what I mean? Like, oh, only the Jedi can do this stuff. You gotta believe in the Force. But this was really interesting. I liked it. It seemed really cutesy at first, and then it just sort of turned into something more interesting, which I appreciated.
Yeah.
The walkers jumping out of the ice was pretty cool. It made me think, could they always do that? And I think canonically, yes, they could. They could be jumping out of the ice on Hawk. We know that.
Yeah.
And they could also shoot. They should also have atomic charge cannons just eject out of their body and attack. I mean, that was legit. So
yeah, that was.
What was nice about this story is it was a small OG Star Wars story. It started with a crawl. Did you translate the crawl? Okay, so what we had was
I tried, Ken. I tried. I wasn't successful. My phone wasn't fast enough, and I didn't feel like rewinding.
Right, but the thing is, we know the Empire. We know Vader sent out multiple probe droids to search for a rebel base. This was one of the other planets that was being searched. That's all this was, a little story. And we understand that the Empire came down and jacked this little village up, which the rebels didn't know who people were. They just were inhabiting this planet. The rebels built a base here. So there was a base. We drop in as the rebels have left. They're gone, but they left behind this hero, which to search for survivors. Basically, that was her job, and she found a lot more than just survivors. But this and they got me on 3 different fronts. They got me on sound effects. They got me on original OG graphics and concept art. They duplicated a lot of the Macquarie droid. If you look at some of the sketches, droids had other accessories. He always drew astromech droids with stuff, I was really jazzed that this thing played cassettes. which is great because that hits on a lot of strings for me because
Nostalgia.
yeah, this girl liked her stuff on tape, not digital, not streaming. She liked it on media. And this astromech droid was able to, she said it was the last one available. Like this particular model was able to play her stuff. So she turned it into a jukebox. But anyway, my original point was that Macquarie drew hundreds of these sketches of droids with extra stuff. And it even came out in the toys, expanded universe toys. All the droids had jetpacks or some accessory, something that turned it into a ship. So that was very, very cool. Also, that they had a snow sand crawler. I mean, talk about combining worlds and technology into different. I mean, that was great, and I liked it was Imperial. It was an Empire built sand crawler. Vader remembered what that was from his childhood and said, "This would be great in the snow. Build one, Zig Heil." And they built it. They built a snow sand crawler, and they said, "Okay, here you go. No matter what planet we find, we can pillage it and destroy it and find all the innocent people and murder them and set their villages on fire." So, again, thumbs up to the Empire. They know how to really.
These people weren't
really know how to cut up the galaxy.
You know, are you really innocent if you're sitting on all that coaxium and I mean, not even really using it? And also, can we really be careful supporting the rebels? I mean, can we be? The rebels were here. We know that there is coaxium here. Ipso facto, the rebels could have been getting supplied coaxium by these guys if they weren't, you know.
And that's why they're not here anymore.
And then you find out one of them is force sensitive. And then
Right.
hold on a second here. Like, I got something. I gotta take a look at this. Now the Emperor's interested. It's interesting, Ken, that you point out this is one of those like collateral damage, like you know what I mean. It's ground up in the years of Empire Strikes Back. It's not even, you know, none of these people like were doing anything or were on anybody's radar, and then the Empire like sends some crooked guy who's like, well, we could. Like it's an old Western. It's like, well, we could just kill everybody and take over the gold mine. And then the stormtroopers just show up.
Yeah, the snow troopers just show up and like take care of business, and that's what they do. That's what they do. It's the wild, wild west.
That's the thing they do. As an Imperial stormtrooper can catch a bolt like nobody's business. That they're the best in the galaxy at getting shot. Way better than the clones. The clones were often very bad at this, where they would just survive and survive and survive. But these stormtroopers, I mean, you're talking about a 15-second lifespan. Boom, gone. Best at it.
There's 10 more. It doesn't matter.
Right.
Don't forget, you get losing to Ewoks now. This is now canonically a multiple, like a losing streak. It's like they have the number. You know what I mean? It's like how the Bengals always beat the Steelers. I like how the Steelers will beat the Browns in Pittsburgh every year for 22 years. It just, you know, it's just a bad matchup. You know what I mean?
Bad. You know.
Now you're them is fighting word.
It's fighting. Well, I mean, you know, it's not too much you can fight about. It's when they're talking about the truth, you know. So, but yeah. So this was a.
The Ewoks. Wait, Steel City brings up the Ewoks. No one expects them to fight well. That's why they win.
Yeah,
right.
Like if a bunch, like let's say,
no one expects the Steelers to play well. That's why they win a game here and there.
It would like if a teddy bear army was kind of like invading your home. It would take you more than one teddy bear, like to figure it out what was happening. Like there would have to be more. Like it would. You know, the first one you'd be like, oh. And then maybe the second one, you'd be like, okay, that's weird. 2 living murder teddy bears in my house. And the third one shows up, and you're like, all right, I got to deal with this.
Yeah, Five Nights at Freddy.
Oh, yeah.
Murder bears.
Murder bears. Murder Bears. But yeah, this was a really, good, succinct, short episode. The colors really pop, and like I said, like you guys were talking about, the contrast from what we saw the last, with the last episode with the black and white to this one really made like a good transition to keeping that anime, type sensibility. And where we seen it like the first one, which was another form of anime. This was in, like you guys said, like the Korean sort of Astro Boy, type style and everything. The mech suit, that just made it for me. It's something they need to transition into, like, main canon somehow, some way. If they could ever do anything like that in live action, that'll just be just crazy. But
yeah,
maybe it was just meant for, the anime type form. I would just love to see many more Star Wars, and I've, yet to see the rest, the episodes and everything. So you guys may have be ahead of me, but just to see this type of animation, done more consistently, versus what we've been getting, and which was okay with the Clone Wars and Rebels and stuff like that. But I like this. I like this style. I like the I'll always look with animation, especially anime, how well the frames go, and how consistent, like, the flow and the detail is with with what we're watching on screen and everything. You don't really want to see, things just, in static, just stiff forms and stuff. You want to see things just flow. And like I said, when the mech stuff came, it was just like, okay, yeah, they're trying something different. They're trying something. They're being inspired and being to mix certain influence and inspirations into Star Wars. And that's one thing that we talked about, like, a week or two ago, about things that we want to see, some inspiration from other sources, so we can make some new stuff, put some more meat on the bone, if you want to say. So I'm excited to see what we got, for these next few episodes that are coming. And I really like that, and I really like that this was short.
I mean, yeah, it's like I said, like we all discussed, it was unique. It didn't even have, like, with the color tones. When it started, I was like, oh my gosh, we already got the Kid's Tale, the second episode. So the color tones really kind of made you, it kind of threw you for a loop, like we were talking about, just because of the styling of it. And then when the episode
You
started
thought it was going to
going,
be one thing, and then it ended
yeah,
up turning into something entirely
it
different.
did. Yeah, and then, I mean, I guess the character kind of reminded you, because I think she was like a princess from a planet. It was kind of like a young Leia type thing. So I don't know if that was their kind of spin on like a Leia or Padme character, because she was like a young princess from a planet, I guess, that was like destroyed or something, and she was like a kind of like a young rebel or something. So on a scouting mission. So no,
Disney, that's the note they give you. Can she be a princess? Could she?
right, yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Like, yeah, sure, whatever. It's like, oh, awesome. That didn't impact the story in any way. So
Young Elsa or whatever, yeah.
it could have. Okay, that would have been too far. They would have been.
I'm surprised they didn't. Yeah, they didn't try to like remix the name or something. Yeah, but nah, it was a fun short story, and yeah, and like we kind of discussed. First, we had the kind of traditional, 80s kind of Japanese, trigun type, style, especially with the black and white was so unique. And then you go from black and white to something so colorful like this, like the
Right.
contrast. But
Yeah.
DP, you mean we've talked about it and you've hit the nail on the head, like the mech suit, like why wouldn't you incorporate that in some of the stuff we've seen recently, whether it be like Mandalorian or even like the Acolyte, like it's just like things like
Because
little
they don't think about that. That's not where they're
I
headed.
mean,
The
Yeah,
next Mandalorian.
the mech suit
they
looks
were
like a
actually
Mandalorian
thinking about
100%.
doing that in this character. They were actually thinking about the technology that she would have, and expanding on that. They wouldn't put that in the Acolyte. They were trying
I mean,
to.
I guess the closest thing we get to the mech suits are really just like the jetpacks and the kind of customization of the Mandalorian Creed, So that's kind of a mech suit, But it would be cool for one of them to have, like you're saying, like an X-wing type, like jet, like you know what I mean? Switch it up a little bit, like.
I mean, you'd think
I
you'd
would-
want to be a small target, so wouldn't you I mean, that if we're learning anything from the current the conflict in the 2020s, is that being a big target is dangerous. It's dangerous to be big. You want to be small and little so that nothing can hit you. And maybe it makes sense to be in a mech suit rather than in a big old, helicopter or in a, P-51 Mustang size X-wing. Maybe that's just bad idea because they can get hit by anti-aircraft drones easily.
Right. Isn't but yeah, they could have made a Beskar suit. Isn't Beskar anti-lightsaber? Isn't that an anti-lightsaber weapon? Or whatever they had on the Acolyte, whatever that shit thing, their little things were like remember that like broke the lightsaber? I don't even remember. I mean,
it is because they can use it. It can be used to
basically like shut off to like
because like in that fight with the Ahsoka, she was using the Beskar spear to parry a lightsaber. So it must.
But then they had those little wrist things that like would shut off a lightsaber. I don't remember. I mean, I don't even have the heart to go back and try to rewatch it.
Kind of curious now that we talk about like technology and everything. When we see like the Force Awakens, Rise of Skywalker, and Last Jedi, we don't really see any of that old technology except for the Millennium Falcon, right?
That's really, yeah. I mean, the Falcon until the final scene of the movie where they did the Endgame moment where all the ships came through. That was like, I mean, that was like, like a homage to every basically ship that they've ever drawn or ever designed.
Well, not so much a ship, but just like the way computers, the buttons, all that stuff, except for the Millennium Falcon
was it.
We don't really see anything like that because it's sort of like they're in like modern times, in that era versus what we usually get when we're going into like the older timelines. I mean, those three movies were the only piece of content that we've gotten that was outside of the before Force Awakens. Am I right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I mean, they
put a lot of the stuff, the equipment that you saw, they were reusing it. It was being salvaged. Ray was always going to that Star Destroyer and pulling shit out of it and selling it to Grub.
Oh yeah.
So
remember, Kylo had that AT-AT or AT-AT or whatever you want to call it. He had that in the was that the Last Jedi or was it, I don't remember.
Yeah, that was Rise of Skywalker. I think it was in Rise of Skywalker.
It was in 8, right? He died in 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had it when he was shooting his hologram up or whatever.
Star Wars has like a flat technology curve. It's one of the things that makes it different from Star Trek, which has a incline technology curve where things would go up, things get better as time goes on. But with Star Wars, things are pretty static. Like there's not like a new warp drive coming out, like a new hyperdrive, a new new turbo lasers. Things change as an ebb and flow, but it would be more responsive to what the other things are doing. So if you end up with, big capital ships, you'd end up with carriers that would develop to go take those out. And then you would have anti-aircraft things like the buzz drones and things like that, right? But it's not necessarily more technologically advanced. It's just situationally superior, like rock beats paper, not like an M60 beats like a flintlock musket. You know what I mean? It's just a little different because it's not like a linear progression. It's more like a circular progression.
It would take the universe a long time to get to AI, versus where we are right now, where we're like diving head first into it.
But what if? So on the other, who knows? Okay, I'll get a philosophical with you on an episode where we had 9 minutes of actual stuff to watch. But who says that the condition that we are in now, where technology is increasing, right? The stuff is getting better, and like computers are getting faster, and video technology is better, internet technology is better. And that's been happening on our lifetimes at an exponential rate. It's been getting faster and faster and faster, and that has not been the case for most of human history. Our technology curve was pretty flat, pretty flat. And then right about the Industrial Revolution, things really took off. And there's a lot of reasons for that. But nobody says that at the end of this giant jump, right, there's not going to be a period of flatness on the other side. Because who knows if we're at a point right now in history where we don't know if AI is just BS. We don't know. It could be that it like can't do anything because it doesn't want to do anything, so it can't make itself do anything, right? Like there's no like drive to it, so it's just worthless. Like we don't know how that's going to pan out. And yeah, it could kill us all, and it could continue and increase the speed at which technology updates. But there's a term that I'm sure everybody's heard called the singularity, where beyond that point, there's no way to tell what's going to happen with technology because it's going to go so fast. At that point, we may as humans lose the ability to keep up with the curve. And if that happens, technology will flatten out because we won't be able to stay on, like, surf the wave, so to speak.
Right.
So, a lot of stuff could happen. Also, the AI could just nuke everybody, and that'll flatten your curve out.
That's never happened. That's never happened. AI technology has never raised a hand to mankind. That's never happened.
And not according to Jim Cameron's Terminator 1 and 2.
And 3.
It's never happened.
And 3.
Because they do it in 3.
They actually, make it happen in 3, right?
That's what I said before. Don't worry about it.
But yeah, like Kim was talking about, this episode might have actually just been an isolated, planet thing where it just occurred on that planet, and maybe the technology there is, a different thing.
I sort of hope
it was more if they had technology, which we don't know. All we saw was their homes in flames, right?
Right.
So we don't know. Their technology was very much like the Lars homestead. It was for function only. It wasn't for entertainment. It wasn't for personal gain. It was to make your life sustainable in the environment that you lived in. So technology, as long as it keeps to that level, it won't ever get to where Steel City's talking about, where it spirals out of control. As long as technology is made and used to improve your life to the extent where you can live in the environment, there's a balance between the tech and humanity. So
I guess the question would be: is technology being made to improve, or is it being made for
sustain? It's our job to improve our lives.
Mm-hmm.
Technology can help you sustain it.
Well, we're living at a point where we've been like this is like the longest of human beings ever lived. We're probably getting on some philosophy type shit, but yeah, I mean, we're at even with technology, this is like the longest point in the human history where we've ever sustained life or what have you.
Where the
oldest person has lived until how long?
And think about, we can live anywhere. You can drop a human anywhere on this planet, and they can live. You give them. You give that person some sort of shelter of some sort against the environment, and they can live. I mean, that's all we're supposed to be doing anyway. We're not supposed to be murdering each other and deciding how to take over.
I don't know. We've been doing that since the beginning of man, Kim. So
we don't know that.
I don't know if that feeling everything is going to leave
like ever since the monolith appeared and the baboon picked up a bone and slaughtered his brother. That was it. That was the.
Oh yeah, that was the end. That was the end of the beginning, as they say.
And if that had only been the only monolith they sent, sadly,
they were all over the place.
Don't forget that the end of this technology. You're right, Ken. The technology itself doesn't have a moral value one way or the other. It's sort of neutral. It kind of it's important that we use technology wisely, like using AI for fun things like making Star Wars stories, and not using it to trick elderly people into giving us their life savings.
And to get
Based
more
on
friends on Facebook.
Hey, you guys see those? Do you see those apps where you can actually bring a old photo to life? I know you've seen those things.
Totally creepy. Like
It's
those people are
crazy.
dead
It's
for a
just
reason.
crazy.
I don't want to see 'em
It's
again.
crazy.
I had this interesting idea recently that is that we all grew up in a time where a police officer would say something to you like, "Man, thank God there's video, because I know, the human brain can lie, but a video can't lie." And like we all
It's
believe
crazy.
that. Like if I showed you video evidence of something happened, you'd be like, "That's the best. That's the best kind of evidence you can really have." But in like 10 years, that very much might not be the case, because you'll be able to fabricate those things on a very granular level. And then we're talking about, how do you know something's legit or not? So that
Those videos get me every time. I just saw Stephen Hawking on a half pipe, and I thought it was real. Did you see that one? They did the Stephen Hawking on the Tony Hawk half pipe, and in that video, that lady feeding the bear. I thought that was real. When
Have
the
you seen
parrot,
show you like this is what an AI video of Will Smith eating spaghetti looked like in 2003, and then 2024, and now it looks exactly like Will Smith.
yeah, it's that, I forget the app. It's like Sora or something that you can do it.
That's
You know,
a new
but
thing. Yeah.
yeah, but maybe we'd have to look into that for maybe our fan fiction stuff. I'm gonna play with it a little bit and see if we can come up with something non-copyright, of course.
That might be some decent stuff right there.
That's the thing. Like like I've been saying, like I think I said this to you regarding Batman. Like pretty soon, Batman's going to be free reign, and who's to say you can't use those tools to create your own?
I would love to create my own Batman movie story. Yeah, love that.
Who's to say? Certainly not.
Who's to say? But no, guys. Like I said, we had another episode. See a shorter review because of a shorter episode, but I think next week's runtime is a little longer, so we'll be able to dive into episode 3. So yes, we'll be on for that, and then obviously that's leading us up into a holiday weekend for us in the States. So leading up into Thanksgiving, so a food holiday, and then obviously an important shopping day on Friday for those people with youngsters or people trying to get the deals. So
or people with money.
Good news for us. The good news for us is our Black Friday promo is we're free. So we're going to give you a preview for our Black Friday promo. Our content
so after you're done draining your checking accounts, come home.
Send a free email. That's exactly how it is.
Come home and send a free email.
We're sending you free content.
And we will read it on air live, and we'll give you credit for it.
For sure. But, yeah, guys, another great review. And until next week, guys, this is the way.
This is the way.